From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
I'm Joe St. George on Capitol Hill. Could this week's expanded child tax credit payment be the last one for parents? We go inside the debate that could impact your wallet coming up.
If you've been downtown, you've probably have struggled trying to find a parking spot. Now the city is working on some studies trying to address that. I'll have more coming up.
Happy Monday, Southwest Montana, 6:30. Chet Lehman, Matt Elwell, little snow, little lights on the patio.
Yeah, it's beautiful December-ish kind of day.
December-ish.
Finally dealing with some snow in parts of Southwest Montana. It does have some travel concerns for us, and you look at the models. I don't think this is an all-day event, and in fact, in Butte, most of the snow has tapered off for the most part, but we still have some batches of snow that we're going to have to deal with as we go through the morning. You get toward the afternoon, once again, the southern tier of Gallatin, Madison, Beaverhead County dealing with scattered snow showers, especially in those higher elevations. A couple more rounds of snow likely for the day today. These temperatures are a little misleading. I expect daytime highs in the 40s, both east and west of the divide. It'll take a little longer to warm up in Butte, but the wind is going to be more of an issue again today. The never-ending wind, we'll talk about if it will
That
end.
has definitely been the weather story of the end of fall here in Southwest Montana. Thanks, Matt. 6:31 now. The 15th of the month is this Wednesday. For tens of millions of parents nationwide, it has become a day to check their bank statement to make sure their monthly child tax credit went through. But as our Joe St. George explains, this week's payments may be the last, leaving a huge impact on your wallet.
It started in July and continues this week with another round of bank deposits set for the 15th. The expanded child tax credit has, for the last 6 months, given millions of eligible families $250 to $300 per month per child, depending on the child's age. Initial analysis shows the extra cash has lowered child poverty rates by around 40%.
But could December's expanded child tax credit payment be the last?
The answer is yes, it could. That's because the monthly expanded child tax credit is only law for 2021. 2022 is still a question mark. The Build Back Better bill, which the Senate is continuing to negotiate this week, would expand it for another year. But the future of that bill is very much unclear. That's because the Senate is split 50-50. In order for this to pass, every Democrat will need to back it, and the vice president will need to break the tie since all Republicans are opposed. Right now, though, not every Democrat is on board. One of those undecided Democrats is Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia. In addition to expressing his doubts about the overall spending in the bill, he has also previously said this year's expanded child tax credit was too generous and that he would like some changes. For example, Manchin has said he would like a work requirement for parents to receive it. Right now, that does not exist. If this week is indeed the final expanded child tax credit, it doesn't mean the entire child tax credit would go away. The IRS would revert back to the previous, smaller tax credit that would be issued once a year. How big of a change would that be? The left-leaning Center on Budget and Policy Priorities says a single mom of two working a part-time job earning around $12,500 a year currently gets around $550 a month. The previous child tax credit only gives her $1,500 for the entire year. In Washington, I'm Joe St. George.
Back here at home now, City of Bozeman conducted a parking study this past August, specifically looking at patterns in downtown Bozeman. Study found some recommendations like expanding the Bridger parking garage, extending the rolling rule, and evaluating time limits, fines, and penalties. TN's Edgar Cedillo takes a closer look.
Over the past couple of years, you've probably noticed the parking situation downtown hasn't been too great. Finding a parking spot can even be challenging. Now, the City of Bozeman conducted a study this past summer to look into some of those problems and how to fix them.
The study found that parking in Bozeman, it's popular.
In 10 years, the population of Bozeman grew by more than 15,000 people. With more people moving to the area, more development, and more tourism, it's beginning to put a strain on the city's parking system.
And we did it on a weekday and a weekend to make sure we were getting an accurate capturing of what the parking situation here is in Bozeman.
Some of the recommendations from the study presented to the city could help alleviate the pressure that's being put on the city's parking.
Had everything from constructing more supply, looking at new ways for lots, looking at new ways to encourage multimodal transportation.
The other area that the study looks at is maximizing efficiency of parking, especially when it comes to the amount of people who repark their cars downtown.
You typically see it in one of two situations. It's somebody who knows downtown, they know that there's a 2-hour rule, and at 1 hour and 55 minutes, they go move their car from one spot to another.
Now that the study has been finalized,
We'll start to put together the work that we're going to need to do to implement whatever the city recommends.
Veselich says that in order to maximize the ease for everyone,
what we are looking to create in the parking program is options for every user.
the Parking Division still has yet to compile all the recommendations from the city. Once they do that, they will then present that over to the City Commission come middle to late January. In downtown Bozeman, Edgar Cedillo, MTN News.
All right, thank you very much, Edgar. 6:35 now. With the Omicron variant on the minds of many, especially during the holidays, there's a renewed focus on testing for COVID. As of now, PCR tests, the nasal swabs, are considered the gold standard in accurately detecting whether someone has COVID. But as Maya Rodriguez found out, there's a new test under development where all you need to do to get it is breathe.
The science unfolding inside this lab is breathtaking.
We were starting to get into human breath analysis, and we were starting to look at what kind of diagnostics could we get from that, and then COVID came.
Dr. Robin Couch is a professor of biochemistry at George Mason University in Virginia. Along with Dr. Allison Daly, they developed a potentially new way to detect COVID in someone who is infected. And all it takes is breathing into this bag.
And we're able now to differentiate between those who have been confirmed COVID positive from those who are COVID negative. And so it's been a pretty exciting time for us.
With help from Sentara Northern Virginia Medical Center, a nearby hospital, they collected samples of patients' breath to see if they could detect whether or not someone had COVID.
You're just kind of blowing into an airtight bag. And so our nurses were trained to do that at Sentara as part of the study.
Sentara's Heather Cassot says nurses there also administered FDA-approved nasal swab tests for later comparison.
This is just another alternative, and it's not an invasive test to do.
It's quick. It takes about 2 minutes to blow up our bags. It's just like blowing up a balloon.
And the results?
We found that from the exhale, we could actually tell the difference between patients that do not have COVID from those that did.
With an accuracy, they say, of 100%. While it's not FDA approved yet, researchers are now looking into whether this type of breath analysis could be used to detect other diseases like lung cancer.
Others have done diseases even such as schizophrenia. You can actually, and Parkinson's disease even, have been implicated in scent profiles. So really, a lot of surprising diseases you might not have thought of can actually be detected using breath or exhale.
They're now working on this full-body, patent-pending device where much more of a person's scent could be captured for a wider analysis of diseases.
Even growing up in the era of CSI and things like that, you're always excited about coming in and trying to figure something out and learn new techniques. We're able to try to push the science forward, and we're able to find new ways and new creative ways then to help people in the end.
A potentially powerful tool that may be just a breath away. In Manassas, Virginia, I'm Maya Rodriguez.
Iris really likes to dance.
I just like that you can learn a whole bunch of different moves and just be yourself and have, like, if people make fun of you, it doesn't really matter because you're like going to the beat instead of what other people think.
She's very smart, very fun to be with. She is talented. She has lots of energy. She's fun to be around.
She's good in the classroom too, and just got straight A's on her report card.
Reading, I love to read books. Like, we're reading this book named Iqbal right now. It's really good.
The 13-year-old would do good in a home with siblings closer to her age.
She likes to be busy, and she loves to dance, and she loves to sing, and she's thinking about taking theater also, which I think would be a really good avenue for her.
A natural performer. In Butte, John Amy, MTN News.
All right, thank you, John. That is our Awaiting Child program. Monthly, we bring you those children looking for their forever homes. 6:39 now. If you order anything from Amazon this holiday season, be careful of emails or calls about your account. Amazon impersonators are targeting shoppers, and they have different ways of tricking you into sending them money. Melanie Sophiste explains their schemes as we count down the 12 scams of Christmas.
These scams work because of how many people order from Amazon. And while you may think these phishing emails, calls, or texts are obvious, imposters were able to steal millions of dollars from customers in just the last year.
$18,000 with the gift cards.
That's how much a Maryland consumer sent an Amazon imposter, and they reported to the Better Business Bureau that the scammer contacted them and seemed legitimate.
They give many different responses as to why your Amazon account has been compromised and why you need to pay them money.
In one variation of the scam, you'll get a notification that your account's been hacked. The only way to protect it is to buy gift cards and share the number and PIN on the back. Or you may get an email or text about an unauthorized purchase on your account. The phone number connects you to a phony Amazon rep who says they issued a refund but sent more than promised.
What they want you to do is send them money to cover the expenses they allege you owe.
They trick you into giving them remote access to your phone or computer, have you log into your banking app, then help themselves to your money.
Median loss is about $1,000, and it most often occurs with seniors.
There are texts about fake raffles, asking you for credit card information to pay for shipping. Or customers in need of assistance Google Amazon customer service and accidentally call the wrong number.
They will actually answer the phone and say Amazon, and it's not their customer service.
According to the FTC, 1 in 3 business impersonators pretend to be with Amazon. 96,000 people reported being targeted, and reported losses totaled $27 million. Never click on suspicious links and emails, and if you get a call, hang up, go directly to the company's website. You'll never need to give someone remote access for a refund or send gift card numbers and PINs. With your 12 scams of Christmas, I'm Mallory Safaste.
Thank you, Mallory. This is just, of course, one of many scams targeting holiday shoppers, job seekers, and travelers. To learn more about the others, head on over to our website. Time for a quick break.